Hi, I'm Vanessa.
I'm Rudima.
I'm Melisha.
I'm Pruta.
We are from Moms of Goa.
To breastfeed or to not breastfeed is completely your choice. We are only here to help you establish why breastfeeding is important for you and your child, so that you can make an informed decision whether you should be breastfeeding your baby or not. As a new mom, there are so many questions that come to your mind. Can I breastfeed my baby? Will my milk be enough? My baby was born premature. Can I still breastfeed my baby? I've just had a C-section. Can I feed my baby right away? Why am I so emotional these days? There are so many questions that sometimes go unheard and unanswered by the new mother. Hopefully, we can make it better and answer all of these questions. It's very important to be prepared. As a young parent, you want to have a plan ready. Sometimes things may go as per plan, sometimes they may not. But having a plan, having an idea as to how you want your birthing experience to be is very essential. For starters, you need to pick a doctor and a hospital that you're comfortable with. Make it known from day one that your intention is to breastfeed your baby, and see that your doctor and the hospital staff are on board with that decision. Your breastfeeding journey will start smoothly if you have a birth plan in place. Make that birth plan known to your doctor and to your family, especially to your husband. So if, God forbid, in case you do have an emergency C-section, he is aware and your doctor is aware that you want to follow a few things that will help you breastfeed and make your journey a long and lasting one. Ideally, the things that you want to mention in your birth plan that will help you go a long way in your breastfeeding journey should be that you want to follow the golden hour. Now you may wonder what the golden hour is. Well, let me put it down simply as it's the hour after you've just given birth to your baby, when you should be just spending time and bonding with you and your baby in a quiet place. It could be in the delivery room itself, or it could be in your recovery room. Once the baby is born and there are no medical emergencies, the cleaning, weighing, measuring of the baby can be postponed for an hour or so. Instead, the baby should be put to the mother's chest right away so that the mother can hold her child and know that she's delivered a beautiful baby. The breast crawl can be initiated during the golden hour, wherein your newborn baby crawls and latches on to your nipple. Once the newborn latches on and nurses, it helps release oxytocin, which helps deliver the placenta. This is also a good time for your baby to get the most precious liquid gold, that is the colostrum, from your breast. Colostrum is essential for your baby. It comes in small quantities, just right for your newborn. It's loaded with antibodies and acts as a laxative to help clear your baby's gut of anything that he or she might have ingested in the womb. Passing frequent motion just after birth helps clear the baby's stomach and also reduces the risk of having jaundice among newborns. When mothers have a C-section, they are told that they cannot breastfeed their baby right away and have to wait a couple of hours for the milk to come in. Well, that's just an old wives' tale. You can breastfeed your baby as soon as you're out into your room. After the C-section, once the baby has been delivered and you are awaiting to be reunited with your newborn, your husband can step in and form a bond by performing skin on skin to the newborn baby. C-section moms can breastfeed their baby right away as soon as they're out into their rooms. they can ask help from a nurse or a lactational professional who can help latch the baby on to the breast in the lying down position so that the baby can nurse and the mother can rest. There is no need for formula. If the mother is asleep, someone else can help hold the baby and latch onto the breast. Speaking of C-section moms, I had an emergency C-section at 34 weeks with my second son, Arjun. I was totally unprepared because I was expecting him in the first week of March and he decided to arrive end of January. I was totally unprepared this time around. I chose a hospital that was a maternity hospital and did not have any NICU facilities. So when I say have a birth plan, pick and choose the right doctor and the right hospital, look at these facilities. See that there is an NICU unit at the same hospital where you would be delivering. Because you never know. Sometimes unplanned and unprecedented things happen during childbirth. Even though my son Arjun was a preterm baby born at 34 weeks and was whisked away in an ambulance to the nearest NICU facility right after birth, and I was at the maternity hospital recovering, that did not stop me from breastfeeding my preterm baby. I was able to accomplish this because I was well aware of the benefits of breastfeeding and how I should go about providing that breast milk to my young newborn. My pediatrician was also on board with the same thoughts. He also knew that breast milk was very important for my preterm baby. So he encouraged me from day one, that is a couple of hours after I had delivered, to pump my milk and send it across to the NICU facility. Because Arjun came as a surprise at 34 weeks, I was totally unprepared. But this is what I did. I sent my husband home to go find my breast pump, sterilize it and bring it to me. That was probably the only thing that I asked him to bring, even though I had help at home and my mother-in-law did send and pack a few of my clothes and newborn baby things that I would need. I started to pump milk as soon as I could sit up on my own, which was probably about 3-4 hours after I had delivered Arjun. My pediatrician was also on board and suggested that I pump breast milk and send it across to the NICU facility. So I pumped breast milk and I was happy to have collected the colostrum in the first couple of hours after birth. I pumped every 2 hours and sent whatever breast milk I could collect in storage bags to the NICU unit. Breast milk is very important for your preterm baby, and most pediatricians will ask you to pump breast milk once you have delivered a premature baby. If for any reasons a mother is not able to pump her breast milk or is having some supply issues, she can always ask for donor breast milk. Most mothers are more than willing to donate breast milk for babies these days. With my case, I was only able to see Arjun after 5 days once I was discharged from my hospital. I went over to the NICU facility to hold my son for the first time. Had I been prepared and picked a hospital which had NICU facilities, that wouldn't have been the case. This goes to show that you should be prepared and check all the facilities that the hospital has where you are going to deliver your baby. Skin to skin is very important for your newborn baby and also to establish your breastfeeding journey. As my baby was premature, skin on skin was even more essential. Once I was at the NICU nurses asked me to come visit my son every 2 hours and provide him with KMC, that is Kangaroo Mother Care. KMC or Kangaroo Mother Care is where the newborn baby is placed onto the mother's bare chest. I cannot stress how important skin to skin is for a premature or a full-term baby to establish a breastfeeding relationship. Skin on skin is your go-to to establish a healthy breastfeeding journey. If you're having supply issues, or if your baby is unable to latch or is on a nursing strike, all you have to do is lock yourself up in a room with your baby and offer your unlimited time and skin on skin. When I talk about having a birthing plan, I would also want you to research and do your study about something called as delayed cord clamping. Delayed cord clamping is when the umbilical cord is cut after it stops pulsating so that all the red blood cells are transferred to your baby. Even though it's not directly related to breastfeeding, it helps in reducing the risk of your baby being anemic in the future. The first 3 or 4 days are very crucial to establish breastfeeding. If you get breastfeeding right during these few days, it will help you develop good lactation and a long and enjoyable breastfeeding journey. Being ready and prepared are quintessential to support this long breastfeeding journey. So be prepared and ready with your hospital bag, documents, your hospital and your doctor when you are pregnant and are expecting your newborn. Breastfeeding through the pandemic. WHO recommends that a mother suspected or confirmed of COVID-19 should be encouraged and supported to breastfeed her baby. The benefits of breastfeeding outweigh the potential risks of transmission substantially. Mother and infant should be allowed to room in throughout the day and night if suspected or confirmed of COVID-19. Hygiene should be practiced. The mother should use a mask at all times and wash her hands regularly. If you are severely ill with COVID-19 and are having multiple complications and are unable to nurse your baby directly, you can try to express breast milk safely for your baby. If you are too unwell to even express breast milk for your baby, look at relactation after you have recovered. Or you can also look at finding donor breast milk for your child. COVID times are very tough times. But know that breastfeeding will only go a long way and help building immunity for your child. So keep at it, keep nursing. Breastfeeding is only good for you and your child. Happy breastfeeding.
Hi, my name is Melisha. I'm a homeopath by profession and I'm one of the co-founders of MOG, that is Mums of Goa. I also have a 4-year-old son named Dashiell. Today I'm going to talk about some very important topics related to breastfeeding. One such topic is baby blues. What is baby blues? Baby blues is nothing but a feeling of sadness that comes from within soon after giving birth to a baby. Now this can go on for as long as 2 weeks and it's very normal to feel that way. But if it does cross more than 2 weeks, it could lead to postpartum depression, which is a serious matter. You will be very surprised to know that 4 out of 5 new moms go through this every single day. It's very normal to feel sad. Now, what are the symptoms of baby blues? Firstly, you'll start feeling very depressed from within. You won't be able to eat well or sleep well. You get very irritated and angry for silly things. And most importantly, you get very overwhelmed that you are not doing a good job as a mother to your newborn. How you can help yourself to come out of baby blues? First of all, get rest. Sleep as and when you can. I know it's very difficult to tell this to a new mother because you just don't sleep when you get a newborn baby. But sleep whenever possible, as much as you can. Rest your body. 2, take help from friends, from family, from your parents, from your neighbors, whoever can help you. 3, connect with new moms because it is only them who will understand you better. You will be able to connect your feelings with theirs. 4, take some time to yourself. Go for a walk on the beach, have that cup of coffee, relax, read a book, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Do it for yourself. Most importantly, remember that you've done a great job by giving birth to a baby. It's not easy. It's a lot that your body has gone through. So love yourself. Embrace the new life. So the second topic that I'm going to discuss today related to breastfeeding is demand and supply. One of the biggest enemy of breastfeeding is self-doubt. Whether I will be able to produce enough milk for my baby. Is my baby getting enough? There begins the problem. Now all this revolves around one simple logic: demand and supply. So basically, the more you feed your baby, the more your body will produce milk for your baby. Your body knows exactly how much milk to produce for your baby. If you do get entangled in the web of self-doubt, then I'm sure you're going to succumb into feeding your baby formula feed. So what will happen when you give your baby formula feed? The baby will be full, will be sleeping peacefully for a couple of hours, and here your brain sends a signal to your body to reduce the supply of milk. The production will be much lesser because there is no demand, and thereby actually dipping your milk supply. So the key is feed on demand. Feed as much as possible, as and when your baby demands for it. The third topic that I'm going to touch today is engorgement and mastitis. It's very important to understand what is the difference between the two. Now, engorgement is the buildup of milk and fluid in the blood vessels. So when it gets extremely congested, that's when you get pain, swelling, redness, and heat around that area. It can be quite painful. What are the causes of engorgement? Why does it happen? The main cause is that your body is producing more milk than your baby demands. Point 2, your baby is inadequately emptying the breast, not drinking completely from one breast. Point 3 is your baby misses a feed and sleeps for long hours. So what is the management of engorgement? How can you take care of this painful condition? The first thing is that you nurse on demand. Nurse as much as the baby needs till the baby has had enough. Second, finish emptying one breast completely and only then switch to the next. Third, nurse more on the painful side. Fourth, take a warm shower 5 minutes before nursing. Fifth, warm compresses. A hot, wet towel kept on the affected side can really relieve your pain and swelling. Sixth, hand express the milk only until you are relieved. Seventh, avoid giving baby any other fluids. Now let's talk about mastitis. We all should understand that if engorgement is left untreated and if it's left neglected, it can lead to a more serious matter, that is mastitis. So mastitis is the swelling of the entire breast tissue, the milk ducts and the glands together. So the symptoms of mastitis are pain, inflammation, redness, heat, and a sharp shooting pain, which is the key characteristic of mastitis. You will also notice a red, swollen lump on your breast. Accompanied with all these symptoms, you will also get flu-like symptoms like fever, body ache, uneasiness, and tiredness. The management of mastitis, very important. You need to see your doctor because it's a serious matter. He may put you on antibiotics and anti-inflammatories that will help you relieve your pain and your swelling. Also, you need to have ample of rest, plenty of fluids, and good support system. You also need to breastfeed as much as possible to empty your breasts. Please do not take mastitis very casually and try to treat it at home. Please go and see your doctor because he may need to do incision and drainage to relieve you of your pain and swelling. Myths and facts of breastfeeding. First one, breastfeeding is painful. Myth. The fact is that breastfeeding is absolutely not painful if you have the proper latch. 2. Breastfeeding is a natural contraceptive. Myth. The fact is that you can definitely get pregnant even if you're breastfeeding. 3. You cannot breastfeed when you're unwell. Myth. You can breastfeed when you're unwell because your body produces good amount of antibodies that your baby will consume through your breast milk. 4. Your body does not produce enough milk for the first 3 days after your baby is born, and hence you have to supplement your baby with formula. Myth. Your body produces enough milk for your baby, and the first few drops are the most important. It is the liquid gold, it is the colostrum, which is very, very important and full of nutrition and antibodies for your baby. Breastfeeding is definitely not easy. It does come with its own challenges. As a new mom, we understand that you will be extremely overwhelmed whether you can produce enough milk for your baby or not. Remember one thing, you have support. You have the support from your family and friends. Try and connect with new mothers around you who will give you more information about this. Although they say that fed is best, try your level best to gather as much as information as you can from people around you, from sources around you, to get yourself ready for this beautiful journey of breastfeeding. And even if you stumble upon the way, you have support. And even if you cannot, it's okay, because you've just given birth to a beautiful baby. It's not easy. So be kind to yourself. And if at all you hear from people around you that you're a bad mother because you cannot breastfeed, please do not listen to them. You are the most special mother to your little baby, and you know what is best for your baby. So do what your heart says. So today I'm going to be talking about two very important topics. The first being essential supplies that assist in breastfeeding. Now, you may be a stay-at-home mom, so you might not really require the first essential supply, and that is a breast pump with milk storage bags or bottles. So the first very important breastfeeding essential supply that works really well and is a lifesaver for working moms and moms with preemie babies is the breast pump with milk storage bottles and bags. Your best bet would be buying a breast pump that's electric, just because it's not tedious, and you would have to also purchase BPA free bottles and bags so that you can store your breast milk in the fridge or freezer according to your baby's needs. Our next breastfeeding essential is a boppy pillow or a feeding pillow. A boppy pillow or a feeding pillow just immensely helps you with feeding your baby much more comfortably than layering or stacking pillows on top of your lap. Stacking pillows on top of your lap causes you to bend over and gives you a lot of back pain, so we suggest you invest in a very good quality feeding pillow which has a belt so you can attach it around your waist. Our third breastfeeding essential is for all those accidental leakages that we all go through. Just take a breast pad that comes in either disposable or reusable, insert it into your cup, and you're sorted for the day. Change when needed. Our fourth and final breastfeeding essential is the most important of all. That is a nursing bra. In India, we now currently get better quality nursing bras than before. So please do invest in one. But make sure you're not investing in an underwire bra, because that is also going to be very uncomfortable. A nursing bra is better to use than a normal bra because all it has is a clip on the side which you detach, feed your baby and attach back again. It makes it so much easier than lifting up your entire bra or becoming very uncomfortable. Your comfort comes first. So when you are nursing, make sure that you invest in these simple nursing bras. Our next very important topic for the day is postpartum depression. Now, postpartum depression cannot be mistaken for the baby blues. It usually starts up from anywhere between 6 months to 1 year after the birth of your baby and can go on for as long as possible if untreated and undiagnosed. The common symptoms of postpartum depression are: postpartum depression signs and symptoms may include some of the following: depressed mood or severe mood swings, excessive crying, difficulty bonding with your baby, withdrawing from family and friends, loss of appetite or eating much more than usual, inability to sleep, that is insomnia or sleeping too much, overwhelming fatigue or loss of energy, reduced interest and pleasure in activities you used to enjoy, intense irritability and anger, fear and hopelessness, feelings of worthlessness, shame, guilt or inadequacy, diminished ability to think clearly, concentrate or make decisions, restlessness, severe anxiety and panic attacks, thoughts of harming yourself or your baby, and recurrent thoughts of death or suicide. Let me share an experience that I had with postpartum depression after my baby was born. It started about 6 months after she was born, and it was the worst feeling ever. Imagine you don't know who you are as a person, you feel inadequate as a mother,
and all the other things that everybody has been saying overwhelms you to the extent that you cannot think straight anymore. The good part is, it is treatable. The moment you get help, things work out better for you. Two very important things to keep in mind when you are going through whatever you're going through is that one, a mother does not know everything from day one. We are learning every step of the way, including how to feed your baby, how to burp your baby, how to clothe your baby, how to wrap the nappies around. Two, do not let somebody else's opinions or learnings or teachings cloud or interfere with your style of parenting. Don't worry about it and don't let it affect your mind. And the last very important thing I would really like to stress upon is family support during the entire time a mother is going through all that she's going through in this first year after giving birth. You have to understand that depression isn't in her control. While she's grateful for everything, she is overwhelmed by all that she's feeling. The hormonal changes in her body make her think and make her do whatever she thinks or whatever she does. Like I said, the hormones in a mother are going up and down like a roller coaster that entire first year. Lack of sleep also contributes to her overall state of mind and being. If you need to, please do step in and take care of the mother and her needs. Take her to a therapist if required, because at the end of the day, a happy mother and a healthy mother has a happy baby and a healthy baby.
The first topic that I'm going to talk to you about is pumping breast milk. Pumping can be an essential part of breastfeeding. You can make sure that your baby receives your milk only in your absence. There are different ways by which you can pump and store milk for your baby. In the initial days when the baby is born, the mother usually has doubts about her supply. This doubt arises due to interferences in breastfeeding. Many a times, this doubt can be taken out by just using a breast pump. Breast pump may help in increasing supply. However, if the mother is facing any other kind of issues with her supply or breastfeeding her baby, she may contact any lactation consultant or professional, and they will be able to provide the best possible help and support that the mother needs. As mentioned earlier by Vanessa, there are different kinds of breast pumps that are available in the market. It is only a matter of time and a little bit of research by which you can get to know which breast pump suits you the best. If you are planning to go back to work, you can pump and keep milk for your baby to be given in your absence. The availability of breast pumps, insulation bags and breast milk storage packets can make your life much easier, and it is very easy to understand. It is important to talk to your employer about providing you with a safe space and a comfortable place for you to pump when you are at work. If you want to know more about pumping breast milk and storage, you can check out our Instagram video, and the link is in the description below. The second topic I would like to talk to you about is extended breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is considered extended if a mother and baby choose to breastfeed beyond 1 year. Although the World Health Organization recommends exclusive breastfeeding for up to 6 months and continuance of breastfeeding for up to 2 years along with complementary food, many mothers and babies choose to breastfeed beyond 2 years. Exclusive breastfeeding has a lot of health benefits to the mother as well as the baby. For the baby, it can protect them from childhood and adolescence obesity. For the mother, she can be protected from ovarian and breast cancer, high blood pressure, and diabetes, amongst others. The most common question that people have about extended breastfeeding beyond 2 years is that, is my child getting nutrition from the breast milk provided to her? The answer is yes. Typically, it takes between 2 to 6 years for a child's immune system to mature. As long as you are providing them with breast milk, the child is always benefited from it. Breastfeeding is a dynamic biological process, not just a meal at the breast. Even in case of allergies, the child can never be allergic to the mother's milk. Definitely, the child may develop allergies depending on what the mother eats or drinks, but never directly to the breast milk. Breastfeeding provides feeling of love, affection, protection and warmth to the baby. Unlike what most people believe, breastfeeding actually helps in building a child's self-esteem and confidence. If you want to wean your child, please do it gradually. Thirdly, I will talk to you about why can breastfeeding get challenging. This is the question that rises in most of our minds. A mother's breastfed. Why do you think it is going to be difficult for me? Yes, our mothers successfully breastfed us, but they did not have as many interferences in their breastfeeding as we do. Your breasts are big, they are too small. Your nipples are big, they are too small. You're not producing enough, you're producing too much. These are all the questions that are put into your head by all these so-called self-certified doctors. Having complete information on breastfeeding is extremely crucial. Of course, getting information after the baby is born will help you. But can you imagine how immensely it will help you if you know about breastfeeding even before the baby is born? You only need to trust yourself and your baby. Successful breastfeeding is usually possible if the mother and the baby have enough support from the family and friends around her. It is so important for the family, especially the husband, the in-laws and your parents, to be on board with breastfeeding and have complete information on the same. If you are pregnant and watching this video, I urge you to show this video to your husband and to your family. I cannot stress enough on how important it is for everybody around you to know the importance of breastfeeding. It is essential that your family and your friends and everybody around you are on board to know about everything that you do with breastfeeding and the choices you make for your baby. So this is it from us, from Moms of Goa. I hope you like the video and share it with your friends and family who may need to know about these things. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Mogasu.